I do think that this is, in fact, consistent with growth paying for itself. I also think it's very consistent with government being best when it's closest to the people and letting the locally elected folks be able to make those decisions. And to Representative Weber's comments, I see this bill, I think, actually presents to this committee a more basic question in terms of what is our decision criteria when it comes to trying to make, these kind of decisions. And I have the disadvantage of having done long-term strategic planning, for many years. And so I tend to take the long-term view in a job where every 2 years you're up for re-election. And so there is definitely the short-term, immediate perspective of, the short-term, immediate perspective of this is going to add cost, to Representative Weber's point. But over the long term, it adds value. And this is the fastest growing state in the nation. And there are, or one of them, and we have to balance immediate costs with long-term benefits, and to be able to figure out what is the best decision that over the long term. And I'm confident that if we're having economic situations like we do now with housing, that those local elected officials are not necessarily going to be immediately, imposing things on folks, but to give them the opportunity to do that when the time is right and their patrons and constituents will support it. So I would offer, and quite frankly, and fundamentally to Representative Nelson's closing comment, which is everyone's right. Everyone's made good points here. And and the reason that's a valid statement is because it's just balance. What is our decision criteria? Is it just the immediate short term? Is it just the long term? How do we balance the two? This is a really important bill, I think, to really try to establish that decision criteria. So I would say this. If it would help to amend the substitute motion to move it to the floor of the House with no recommendation to continue that conversation, I would support that. I won't make that motion, but if someone wants to make that motion, if that would help to move this forward and also provide more time for more information to be provided, maybe that's a path forward.